The title of today's presentation is Language Status Planning and National Language Policy in Belarus, the legal protection of the Belarusian language. The Belarusian language is one of the highly developed literary languages in Europe and has the status of an official language of an independent country. Given that, it seems almost paradoxical that the Belarusian language is currently recognized as an endangered language in the Atlas of the World Language in Danger issued by UNESCO in 21st and 2010. However, it is true that the spread of the Belarusian language has encountered certain difficulties with the national language policy in Belarus. The main purpose of my presentation today is to reconsider Belarusian national language policy in terms of language status planning. As is often pointed out, although the Belarusian language has been declared the state language of the Republic of Belarus alongside Russian in the constitution, the current use of Belarusian language in Belarus is relatively limited both in the public and private sphere. Meanwhile, the use of Russian language dominates the society. In other words, the legal status of Belarusian language is not consistent with its actual status in Belarusian society today. The discrepancy between the legal and actual status of Belarusian is often discussed as one of the specific features of the language situation of modern Belarus. But the details of this problem have not been fully studied. Accordingly, I attempt to explain why Belarusian status as the state language does not support the distribution and use of Belarusian in everyday life. For that, I analyze legal documents concerning language status planning in Belarus to understand the historical and present legal status of Belarusian language as well as other languages. And to discuss the discrepancy between the legal status of Belarusian and its actual status. I will also consider the complexity of legal protection of the Belarusian language in modern Belarus. The Statute of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in the 16th century, which referred to the language of official documents, is considered the oldest legislative act that defined the legal status of languages in the territory of Belarus. But it is reasonable to suppose that the language status planning of the Belarusian Democratic Republic in 1918, which proclaimed the Belarusian as a state language, had a more accurate understanding of the state language of modern Belarus. However, it has been difficult to see this policy realized throughout the country because since the middle of February 1919, Soviet authority has been established throughout nearly all the territory of modern Belarus. So after the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic was established in 1919, the Republic's constitution included provisions relating the function of languages in the public sphere and the language right of citizens. Even though the term state language was not officially used until the perestroika period. The detail of the provisions are summarized in the following table. As is clear from the table, in the 1920s, Belarusian, Yiddish, Russian, and Polish were designated as the so-called state languages of the Soviet Belarus. This language policy was implemented in consideration of a relatively broad social sphere. But under Stalin's regime in the 1930s, the sphere of official language use, which is clearly mentioned in the constitution, was reduced. Then, in the 1970s, Yiddish and Polish language were excluded from the public domain of Belarusian society. Incidentally, in the 1920s, not all four official languages were treated equally. One of the material required for thorough understanding of the so substantial different treatment of the four official languages in the 1920s is the decree of the Central Executive Committee of the BSSR in 1924. This decree described the official policy of Belarusization in detail. Based on this document, the treatment of the four languages is summarized as follows. Though in the 1920s the equality of Belarusian, Yiddish, Russian, and Polish languages was declared, there was inequality surrounding the use of Yiddish and Polish, as these two languages were only required when necessary, as is clear from the table. In the latter half of the 1980s, the problem relating to the protection and revival of the language of titular nation became actively discussed in the Soviet republics among intellectuals and national elites. As soon as Estonia adopted the law declaring the language of the titular nation as a state language, Belarus also adopted the law, in succession adopted a law declaring a language of titular nation as the state language. Belarus also adopted the law on languages in the BSSR on January 26, 1990. Through this law, Belarusian was proclaimed to be the sole state language, and the Russian language was specified as the language of interethnic communication in the USSR. As never before, the 1990s language law considered the sphere of official language used in Belarus almost comprehensively. However, as it is pointed out by Mechkovsky, in fact, this law was practically an exact imitation of the language law adopted in Ukraine a few months before the Belarus law. In addition, as shown in the table below, through this law retained Belarusian as the sole state language, each article deals with the prioritization of Belarusian differently. As clear from the table, the language law of 1990 treated Russian and other languages as practically equivalent to Belarusian with certain conditions. That is the legal status of state language given to Belarusian in the 1990. They do not have an exclusive disallowance of Russian or other languages. The language law of 1990 played a certain role in enhancing the social prestige of Belarusian language and spreading its use in Belarus in the early 1990s. However, soon after this law was adopted, it caused negative reaction among many people in Belarus for whom Russian was the main language in their daily communication. Thus, the language law of 1990 came to be criticized for restricting the free choice of language, especially in school education. In July 1994, when Alexander Lukashenko was inaugurated as the first president of the Republic of Belarus, Belarus' national language policy came to a turning point. In 1995, President Lukashenko oppressed opponents through strong political tactics and carried out a referendum that included the question about the status of Russian as a state language. The referendum was attended by 65% of the electorate, and 88% of them supported this proposal. Based on the result, the referendum, Russian was also given the status of being a state language in the revised 1996 constitution. Then, in 1998, the language law was completely revised, changing its content regarding the presupposed two state languages. The language law adopted in 1998 structurally follows the law of 1990. However, the content of the 1998 law differs significantly from the 1990s law, as legislation specifying Belarusian as prioritized language to be used, seen in 1990 law, have almost disappeared. The pattern of treatment of two-state language in each article of the language law of 1998 can be categorized as follows. The main feature of language law of 1998 is that it contained a number of provisions mentioned that Belarusian or Russian languages are the languages to be used, like in case 1 and 2, as seen in the table above. Also, in fact, the law states in Article 2 that the Republic of Belarus provides comprehensive development and functioning on the Belarusian and Russian languages in all spheres of public life. In theory, the language law of 1998 allowed individuals to choose between two state languages. However, in reality, the Belarusian language was at a disadvantage for being selected. Thus, the legal status of Belarusian, though also named the state language as seen in the language law of 90s, was reduced to a mere facade. The new language law practically legalized the non-use of Belarusian in society. It can be said that so the language law of 90s was fairly tolerant to the use of Russian and other languages. It provided for the future spread of Belarusian to all public spheres of the country. In other words, this law was adopted more or less with the intention of correcting the discrepancy between the legal and actual status of the Belarusian language over time. However, in the law of 1998, the status of state language of Belarusian seemed to function simply to conceal the discrepancy between the legal and actual status of the Belarusian language. After 1998, the language law was revised with minor modification in 2005, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. However minor they may have been, these modifications contributed to legalize the absence of Belarusian language in public life in Belarus. So there are more. However, there are more essential problems to consider when contemplating the legal protection of Belarusian language in modern Belarus. Generally speaking, when we discuss protecting endangered language, there are two different problems to address. First, protecting the language as cultural property, and second, guaranteeing the speaker's language rights. These problems likely conflict with each other for two reasons. First, because there is a possibility that individuals may be restricted in freely selecting which language they use. And second, because there is also a possibility that individuals may want to use the dominant language, which gives greater social opportunities. In modern Belarus, where the majority of citizens speak Russian on a daily basis, these two problems, the protection of Belarusian as a cultural property and guaranteeing the rights of those who want to speak Russian, are in constant conflict. Of course, there are also people in Belarus too, they who want to speak Belarusian in their social life. And needless to say, their language right must also be guaranteed. However, since most of these people already have command of Russian language, whose use is guaranteed almost everywhere in the country, it is difficult to assert the urgency for guaranteeing their language right. That's all. Thank you very much.